In this episode of Film Stock Reviews, I'm reviewing Season 2, Episode 6 of American Horror Stories, titled Facelift. Now, this episode stars Judith Light, who is a woman or older woman fascinated with youth and rejuvenation. We're introduced to her where she wakes up, pees in a cup, dips a little paper napkin in it, and wipes the pee all over her face to make the skin tighter or whatever. We are introduced to her daughter while she's studying for law school and all this and that. She runs into a friend from college, so to speak, at a wine shop or a wine store, liquor store for that matter. And she's talking to this other older gentleman. Says, "Hey, you should come." She's interrupted. Said, "Hey, here's this doctor you should see." So this whole aspect is going on where it's youthful, it's rejuvenation. We don't know what's happening. Judith Light is a phenomenal actress, and she really gives her all in this episode, and it really, really shows. We know nothing about what this doctor is or what the history is with this doctor. She just likes to help people do certain things and live life to the fullest, and starts talking about youth and vitality, and I do it because I want to do it, I want to help people. Okay. While she's doing that, there's a painting on the wall that she has, or that sits by her desk. It's of a boar that's being hunted by men and dogs, so to speak. It's like, okay, the painting's like, what is the metaphor? Because American Horror Stories, or any horror show or movie for that matter, does not put in a painting that you don't talk about or how it's connected to the episode or movie show itself. So she gets her face done and everything. We don't know what it looks like. She has these bandages on and everything. And she's invited to this small retreat where every once a year the doctor throws for her guests, and she's the special guest and everything. And the daughter, before she leaves, the daughter's actually the stepdaughter. So the woman, the older woman that Judith Light plays, married into this family. So she married the father, and she, the stepdaughter and everything. And the stepdaughter told her mother, there was a time where my mom gave me this heirloom, this necklace, and I just threw it and broke it and everything. I didn't know what it was, but that's not, all that for the matter for right now. So the whole research goes in where the stepdaughter, doesn't know what's going on with this doctor. She tells her stepmother, "Don't go. This is not right for you. This is different." So, and the interesting thing is that, so she goes to this retreat, and they do this whole unmasking for her. And we see that her face and her hands are that of a pig or a swine. Yes, she's there because she's going to be hunted for a kill. Remember that painting I mentioned that was in this doctor's office? It's exactly what that is. The boar or the pig was being hunted by dogs and a group of men. She's the one that's being hunted. The reason they do this is because it's part of a youthful vitality. Beautiful people are coming back. The ugliness has gone away, whatever. And we find out that the stepdaughter, or the daughter, is a part of this so-called cult. And the reason that we know that is because that necklace that she threw after she was mad at her father and biological mom, we see that the necklace has the same design and that the tattooed on their wrist. So the only reason that they picked the character that Judith Light plays is because to lure in the daughter and to actually say that she's one with the group. It's really different and really interesting. I mean, when they were doing the procedure to make her look like what she was, they were chanting some kind of thing, and I was like, oh, it's a cult. Now, this episode was really different and interesting. It didn't have a horror aspect to it at all. It had more so of a psychological feel to it. And the interesting thing about this is that as I'm watching it, and as she's being, unraveled, and the bandages are coming off, and then all of a sudden you realize that she's the one that's going to be hunted, and she gets killed at the end of it, the nose and the hands look like hooves and everything, like a pig or a swine. This episode reminded me of the old Twilight Zone episode that premiered November 11th, 1960, which was part of Season 2 and was Episode 6. That episode was Eye of the Beholder. If you remember that episode, then you exactly know what I'm talking about. This episode of American Horror Stories is season 2, episode 6. Exactly, yeah. So, and the reason I know why it's November 11th, 1960 is because I'm a huge, huge fan of The Twilight Zone. So they definitely took inspiration from that episode and put it in this one. Very different take on it and everything. The ending is lackluster, didn't really, you know, do anything for the episode. I want to say I liked the episode, but it could have been more interesting. So far, there's only been 3 episodes this season that have been good. It's Dollhouse, Aura, and Bloody Mary. And, you know, the only reason Facelift was good is because it reminded me of that Twilight Zone episode. And that's it. But other than that, I'm curious to see what's going to happen now because there's only 2 episodes left of season 2. And I'm curious to see how more interesting and more crazy it gets. And it's only going to be fun from here, but hopefully the final 2 episodes really leave a shock and awe for the horror fans. And I'm curious to see if this gets picked up for a 3rd season. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about season 2, episode 6 of American Horror Stories titled Facelift. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? Do you think that the story could have been a little bit better? And if you know what I'm talking about with the Twilight Zone episode called Eye of the Beholder, did it remind you of that? And are you a fan of the Twilight Zone? And what do you think is going to happen in the next 2 episodes of American Horror Stories of season 2? Because season 2 is coming to a close soon, and let's see if they actually know what they're going to do. Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked, and I'll see you all in the next review video. And be sure you tune in next week for my season 2, episode 7 review of American Horror Stories.